Welcome again, guys. This is Tutoring Center. This is a continuation of the question of the polynomial question we were solving last time. If you haven't yet, check that video. Okay, we'll be continuing with the B part of the question today. Given that x plus 2 is a factor of g of x and that the graph of g of x passes through the point with coordinates 0, 6, find g of x. Oh, remember that they said the polynomial is of degree 3. This is going to be very relevant for answering the B part of this question. Okay, let's get right to it. Okay, they said x plus 2 is a factor, and we said the factor of a polynomial is that which, if you divide that polynomial by the factor, the remainder will be 0. So we get the factor there. That's going to be very important. And they said the graph of g of x passes through the points 0, 6. This is also going to be very important as we proceed. Okay, since g of x is of degree 3, as we read in the previous slide, g of x is of degree 3. Let me just quickly explain here. The degree of a polynomial is the highest power of that polynomial. So if you get a polynomial of, maybe let's say, x to the 4th plus 5x to the 3rd plus 2x, the highest power here is 4. The highest power of this expression is 4, and so the degree of this expression, or let me just equate to 0, the degree of this polynomial is 4. So since the polynomial is of degree 3, as we saw in the previous slide, I'll just go there now. Since it is of degree 3 and we have x plus 1, x plus 3 times q of x, they're asking us to look for q of x. Since the polynomial of degree is of degree 3, it therefore means that q of x must be an expression or an equation in terms of x only, because x here times x here is going to multiply, and this g of x is going to be in terms of x squared. So we need another x to multiply to give this, multiply x squared, another x to multiply x squared to give us x cubed, which is the highest degree of this polynomial. So it therefore means that q of x is of the form ax plus b. Okay, having understood that, let's proceed. Since q of x is of the form a of b, it means we can now substitute q of x, this was formerly q of x, to the form ax plus b, and knowing that when we multiply x and x here, it gives us x cubed, which is the highest power of the polynomial, and it gives us 3, satisfies the conditions that were previously stated in the question. Okay, since x plus 2 is a factor of the polynomial, it means substituting g of negative 2, the remainder when substituting g of negative 2 is going to be 0, because since x plus 2 is a factor. Okay, now if substituting g of negative 2 is 0, it just means that anywhere we find x, we substitute negative 2 and simplify to see what happens. We substitute in all of these positions. Okay, so substituting negative 2 in g of x, what we get is negative 2 plus 1 into negative 2 plus 3, a into negative 2 plus b, 16 negative 2, and what all of this simplifies to is 2a minus b equal to 8, and this is going to be our equation 1, an equation in terms of a and b. But it seems like a problem here because we don't have, how do we get another equation in terms of a and b, or maybe just an equation that or how do we get any value of a or any value of b that is going to help us solve this equation simultaneously? Well, we look again at the information we had. They said the coordinate q of x crosses, the graph of q of x crosses the x-axis or has coordinates 0, 6, and we know that x 0 stands for the x value, and y, and 6 is the y value. That means that dividing this polynomial by 0, the remainder is 6. That's just what they're trying to tell us here, that dividing this polynomial by 0, you get a remainder of 6. So that just means g of 0 is equal to 6. So we have to substitute 0 in here, anywhere we previously had x in the equation, and let's see how that goes. 0 here, 0 here, 0 here, 0 here. Oh, look, this is a multiplying 0 here. That means this variable here is eliminated, and so the final something that we get is going to be, equation that we get is going to be in terms of only b, and we can easily get the answer of b here. So b is equal to -6. So we just quickly substitute this b here to get the value of a, and we proceed. So substituting b in equation 1, we get 2a minus -6 is equal to 8. Proceeding, we get a is equal to 1. Okay, remember we said pure g of x is of the form ax plus b. So having our a value to be 1 and our b value to be -6, this therefore means our a is going to be 1 and then x plus -6, which is b, and this just simplifies to x minus 6. Okay, that's it for this video, guys. If you like the video, don't forget to like, share the video and subscribe for more content. See you in the next video.